Hello everyone, I'm Dav.ID. Okay, today I'm doing this video to do some basics introduction of laminates. Okay, when I mean laminates, it's not those laminate flooring that are used on the floor for overlay. Those kind that is quite popular last time, a few years back. It's not those kind of laminate, but now usually replaced by vinyl floor tiles. Right. So I'm talking today. The topic is about more to decorative laminates. So what are decorative laminates? So are those laminates that usually we use for furnitures. That means like your kitchen cabinet, your wardrobe, the TV console, feature wall. That is quite commonly say in the household, in the design, is easily used by a lot of interior designers in Singapore. So there's a lot of choices. So how is it laminate? How they make this laminate, right? So basically, laminates is actually using about a few layers of paper that you bonded together. So the the top layer, we call it an overlay paper. So this actually is the first layer of the paper. Then it followed by a decorative paper. So decorative paper is basically a second layer, more on the design. Okay, so it's two layer. Then the third layer is actually a underlay, or some people call it as a craft paper. So this will form the core of the laminate. So sometimes it can be 3 layers. It means overlay, the decorative paper and the underlay. So some cases it can be 4 layers. So by using these few layers of paper, is bonded together using a very high pressure, also resins to bond this paper together. So it become the piece of laminate that we see in the market. So every different layers it serve a different function, right? So for example, the first layer, the overlay, it's actually more like a protective layer, to increase the scratch resistance and also the heat resistance. So it's a top layer. So followed by the second layer, which is the decorative. So this is more to the print, the design of the laminates, more to the aesthetic of the laminates, right? The prints, the wood grain you see quite often. So this is the second layer. Then followed by the underneath the underlay, which is the craft paper. Right. So the craft paper is actually the main purpose of the craft paper is to increase the thickness of the laminate. Also serve as the base of the laminate. Because if you just imagine is if let's say the laminate is just a very thin piece of paper, it's like a thin maybe the paper they use for A4 for writing, so it's very easy to break and it's quite difficult to manage the application. It's very difficult to manage, right? So by using a few pieces of paper, they actually bonded using resin to bond it, to create this piece of laminate. Laminates, it come with the usual size of laminate is actually 4 by 8 feet, right? If you use by feet, it's 4 by 8 feet. So if you convert into mm, it's about 1220 by 2440. Alright, so in short, some people will say 4 by 8, they take it as a 1.2 by 2.4 to make it easier. 1.2 meter by 2.4. So I have a few suppliers, just to show you, I have some suppliers here, some laminates, which is quite popular in the market. Some brands is quite popular, like this, So most of the laminate brands that you see, they are usually dealers or there's distributors. So, but there are few of the laminate companies, they actually manufacturers themselves, right? So, okay, maybe I just bring you to show you one of the book here, this one. So if you look at it, okay, by this booklet itself, there's actually quite a lot of choices. So this can be a few hundred pieces. So imagine, you talk about the number of suppliers. Okay, I think the suppliers supply laminates is actually more than 10 in the market. So imagine one supplier, let's say a few hundred pieces. We talk about a few thousand pieces for laminate to choose from. So I work with most of the laminate company, so I'm quite familiar with the laminates they have. But I just do some basic introduction on this video itself. So for example, the choices, it can be from marble grain, so even marble grain, or even the other series of laminate can be like gloss. It can come in gloss surface, it can come in matte finish, right? So nowadays really a lot of choices. Even stone looking laminates, like others, leather looking. Yeah. So before we many years back, we used to before laminates, or before laminates become so popular, we used to use a lot of this veneer. All right, so we have chance, maybe the next video or other videos, I will try to introduce about what are veneer. Okay, so now this laminates. See, even metallic looks, it's pretty cool. Many choices. So just like I mentioned, that laminates, it come with 4x8 feet. So there are some cases that certain laminates is actually even bigger than that. It can be about 1.3, even go up to about 3 meters long. For sometimes in certain application you might need certain length. If not, there'll be a lot of joint lines, right? So you can actually run through. Usually the catalog will state, the sizes in the catalog. So they also, the laminate itself, also not only the matte and the gloss finish, also it comes certain, like wood grain, come with textured, right? Textured. Maybe from this video you can not able to see very well from the camera, but if you have a chance, you can actually drop by the laminate companies to have a feel of their laminates. This thing. So there are so many wood grain to choose from. Laminates, and nowadays is pretty real. Prints, wood glossy laminates and mattes. I personally like certain series nowadays. Is more to the matte, the super matte finish. Like for example, like this series. It's plain in colors, but the surface is pretty smooth, and we can call it matte finish. Because if you talk about normal these plain solid laminates, when you look at it, you look closely, that you will see some texture. Most of them you can see some texture to the surface, or I'm not sure it's right to use like some pores, like you can see some dots or this thing. But this is super matte laminate, which is it's pretty cool. It's very smooth. So I kind of like this. This is the so-called the more premium series of laminate. Same thing as matte, but there's a lot of characteristics and these properties. For example, anti-fingerprint, higher scratch resistant, heat resistant, shock resistant even. And this series is actually come with a quite big size, 1.3 by 3.05 meter. Yeah. So these are some basic introduction of decorative laminates. So down the road, I might be doing more videos about to introduce more about laminates, so that you can have better understanding of what kind of laminates, or what the suppliers or the manufacturers can offer in their product itself. I might even bring them on board to do the video together, to do some demonstrations of their laminates. So maybe we will also come up with some standard questions to ask them. We have 5 questions to ask every of this dealer, every of the manufacturer. We may even drop by, if we have a chance, we can even drop by this factory or production plant to see how laminate is stored in the warehouse. Also how they produce this laminate. So if you have any questions, or anything you'd like to find out about laminates, just drop me a message. I will just include in my questions to them, so that you can have better understanding, or can answer your questions to that. So okay, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you next time.